What's up, everybody? Coffee cheers to you. I've never considered myself a conspiracy theorist. I think I've always been able to kind of look at some of the hype um, in the media pretty objectively. I think I've bought into some of it at some point in my life. But by now, most of us have heard about Biden's mandate to fully vaccinate America. And you hear, the talking faces at the EU talking about how essential it is for the whole world to be vaccinated. And, I'll be honest, I've never had reservations about vaccines up until this point. And it has also made me question what have I been putting in my body this whole entire time. Um, I think about these vaccines and I think about some of the unique diseases and health problems that have come up over the years. And to be honest with you, there have been several links. And I am not in the mindset of putting something in my body just because other people have done it with the idea that they're stopping a spread that they're just not stopping. And that's the truth. And I think that we need to start being real about these conversations. The healthcare experts are sounding ever more ridiculous. You have doctors who are not trying to treat unvaccinated patients or who have a problem treating vaccinated or unvaccinated patients because they decided not to take the vaccine and now they have to treat them for COVID. Meanwhile, they are also treating patients who have been fully vaccinated with the same damn thing. So, this is just to say that the hypocrisy and the virtue signaling that is going on with the information around the vaccine, the mandates, it makes me even more leery about what these people ultimately are trying to do to other people. And, I am not one to kind of read into every single thing, but this does sound like an effort to, you know, control the population in some kind of way by unleashing these viruses on the world, man made viruses, because Fauci is not looking good. And it looks as though, to me, the lab leak theory is not far off. And it seems as though the U.S. taxpayers may have been funding this entire pandemic, the research and development of this pandemic. So that is just to say that protect yourself. They're getting into territory where they're going to inhibit the people from buying and selling from each other if they do not meet certain requirements. And this is all, to me, if you're a true Christian and you're not recognizing, some of the signs of the times that we're living in. Like one of my followers said, get your faith up, get your household right, because I feel like we're going to be faced with things that are just unprecedented. They're going to be very difficult to navigate through. And I think ultimately the push is for us to rely on governmental structures versus supporting ourselves and fending for ourselves, because that would make us capitalists, buying and selling, the people buying and selling, involved in the buying and selling, versus somebody controlling what you can buy and sell. And I think ultimately that is where we're headed. And you just have to do the things that's necessary for you. I think it calls for people who are not with this agenda to align themselves with each other, because there may have to be, a secondary market that needs to be created to accommodate people who just don't want to deal with this tyrannical agenda that seems to be a global agenda. So keep your faith and, keep your strength and keep your rationality strong. And my thing is, disinformation, misinformation is not in the form of a question or an opinion. My thing is, my opinions are formulated based off of what I observe and what I experience. My grandmother was fully vaccinated with COVID-19. She was on the bandwagon of fear, got both vaccinations, and she was in the hospital last week with COVID. So the vaccines are not stopping any spread or transmission. The vaccines are only mitigating the adverse effects of having the virus. And because of that, I think that it should still be an individual choice to choose how you want to handle yourself if you get COVID 19. And that is just my particular opinion. If the vaccines work, then the vaccinated should have nothing to fear being around individuals who are not vaccinated.